Hey, friends, and welcome back to Trying to with Leah. So, I have been thinking a lot about this channel recently and also about the fact that my knees sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies every time I walk up the stairs. Yeah, it is pretty nasty. So, I'll let you hear that at the very end. Um, that way, you can click away early if that's not really your thing, because I do respect boundaries. So, if you're new here, hi, I'm Leah. I have officially crowned myself as Creaky McGee, and that is not because I'm old. Although I am a very proud 36-year-old grandma, but it's actually because I'm a klutz. Multiple mishaps, multiple injuries, zero coordination, and we will get to all of that later. And somehow that ties in perfectly with what I wanted to talk to you about today. So, when I started this channel, I didn't really have a grand vision or anything like that. I was just kind of sharing my stories. I was talking about what I'd been through and what I was working through, losing weight, healing from my past experiences, and trying to rebuild my life after multiple disappointments. And of course, I was figuring all of this out in real time. Uh, but a lot of those big life stories are out there now. And recently, I realized something that's very important. This channel is not just about healing, it's about learning how to live with yourself, uh, own those quirks and your insecurities and your creaky joints and all of it. And honestly, that realization was really freeing for me because this year did not play around. It forced me to slow down when I desperately wanted to sprint, and it made me confront versions of myself that I had outgrown, but was still clinging to because they felt familiar and safe. But it also gave me a lot of clarity. I finally lost over 80 pounds, and I am within arm's reach of my health goals. I left my job to focus on my dreams and my passions, which was terrifying, but also incredibly freeing. So, let's talk about some of these insecurities that I've been working through lately, because I do work through them quietly, usually. But I feel like we need to talk about these things. I feel like it's important to talk about what you're healing from and, what's going on in your life. So, first off, the knees. We will get to the full snap, crackle, and pop later on. Don't worry. But they are the reason that I don't go to the gym. It's not because I don't like working out, because I actually do quite a bit of that at home, especially now. But because I am deeply self-conscious about walking up the gym stairs and my knees sounding like a haunted house soundtrack. I can just imagine everybody around me thinking, like, is she okay? Like, should we call someone? Or even worse, just going, ew. Like, but yeah, it's pretty gross. But instead of that stopping me from taking care of my health, I learned to laugh about it and to find ways that I can work out that my body can actually handle, and to do so in the privacy of my own home, which makes me feel perfectly safe. So I stopped punishing myself for having a body that's definitely been through some things, most of which was caused by either working in healthcare or just my own clumsiness. So, of course, another one of my insecurities is my memory. I tend to tell the same stories over and over again. I Doing this YouTube channel, I have literally had to keep track of which stories I have told so that I don't repeat them on here. I have always called it jokingly Alzheimer's by association. which is something that my coworkers and I kind of came up with when we worked in memory care. But when you spend every single day, all day, with people who repeat the same stories over and over again and lose their train of thought, sometimes mid sentence, and they literally live moment to moment, it tends to rub off on you. And I haven't worked in memory care for a while and I still deal with this. So maybe it's just part of me now. Who knows? But for a while, it made me question my own memory as well as my sanity from time to time. But as I became more aware of it, I learned to laugh instead of panic. And it slowly started kind of fading away. And then, of course, there's comparison syndrome and imposter syndrome. I still catch myself scrolling sometimes thinking, wow, everybody else looks like they have everything together. Like their life is just perfect. And everybody else makes this look easy. And then I remember something. I trip over air. I overthink everything. I definitely have Alzheimer's by association. And yet, still, somehow, I managed to lose over 80 pounds and rebuild my life for me, choose myself. So I think I'm doing okay. Another big one is overthinking. Every word, every video, every awkward pause, every moment that I might have been just a little too quirky. I have had to learn to recognize when self reflection turns into unnecessary self criticism. And definitely, I've had to learn when it's time to just say, Leah, stop overthinking. Just embrace your imperfections. Because I've learned that not every thought deserves a seat at the table, for sure. Some can just stand in the corner and mind their own freaking business. So, yeah. So here's the thing, this channel was never meant to be polished. It was meant to be consistent, showing up, trying again, learning out loud for sure. And sometimes that looks like deep healing conversations. And sometimes that just looks like laughing at yourself for being awkward and being human. And honestly, creating these videos has helped me heal. It's like I'm kind of processing it as we're going along. And I'm learning to like myself a lot more along the way. So, if this channel does help you feel less alone, or if it gives you permission to be softer, sillier, or kinder to yourself, then it's definitely doing its job. So, as we head into 2026, I want to be really clear about what this channel is becoming. And yes, we will still be talking about healing and growth and lessons learned from pain and choosing yourself and choosing better and loving yourself. But we're also going to make room for plenty of humor and personality, quirks, lightness. So, yeah, less heavy self improvement and more just real life, but intentional. I've learned a lot of lessons from disappointment, and I've learned how to continue to have a positive perspective, even when things definitely don't look like they're going my way. I think that it's very important for you to process your emotions and look at your life intentionally and live your life intentionally with room to be weird. Because definitely that's important as well. Being yourself is the most important thing. This channel is also going to become a space where we can question the systems around us. The ones that tell us that burnout is normal, that your productivity is equal to your worth, and that struggling is just a part of life and it's a personal failure instead of a structural issue. I want this to be a place where we can look at the world honestly without becoming bitter and ask, does this actually make sense? Who is this really serving? And what could this look like if it were actually built for humans instead of profit? Not just to complain, but just to imagine what life could be, to think creatively, to explore small, realistic ways that we can build something better. What I want to build here isn't just content. It's a community of people who actively work on themselves, actively want to make the world a better place, and are willing to talk to people that they disagree with and actually listen. I really want this to be a space where curiosity is valued more than being right, where growth matters more than perfection, and where we challenge systems around us without losing our humanity. We don't need more division. We need more empathy, more imagination, more open mindedness, more open hearts and open minds. That is how we pull ourselves out of dark times. Okay, so if you have stayed this long, it is because you want to know about the knees. So here we are. Um, so first off, let's talk about how we got here. Of course, I have mentioned in a previous video that I did injure my left knee in a cheerleading accident in middle school when I was building. So that knee has not been reliable throughout the years. And of course, me being the klutz that I am, I have now injured both of my knees. So, in my freshman year of college, I was having a very hard time waking up for classes. So, I was talking with my roommate about it, and she suggested, hey, you need to just put your phone in the closet or something, like hide it from yourself so that you actually have to physically get up to turn off the alarm, because I was just turning it off in my sleep, you know? So I thought that is brilliant. We're going to do that. So, of course, me being the overachiever that I am, I also switched the ringtone to something obnoxiously loud and just blaring. I think it was like one of those like nautical alarms or whatever, where it's just like, bah, bah, bah. Anyway, that was beautiful. Anyway, but yeah, so it was super loud. And so I hid it from myself in my closet, and I was on the top bunk of the loft beds. And so the next morning when the alarm went off, it was so blaringly loud, and I just freaked out. And so I started flailing around, and I fell off the loft bed onto the ground and injured my right knee. So, because I fell on my right knee, which was great. So, there was that. And then, of course, the very next year in college, we had had a big snowstorm, and I had gone out this side door to get out to the parking lot from the dorms probably hundreds and hundreds of times. And you go out the door and there's steps down, and there's also like a drop off. And so the drop off is like just grass to the parking lot, and the steps go all the way down. You have to go all the way around to get back to the parking lot to get to your car. So I always just cut, on the grass and just, step off the drop off and go on my way. And so, of course, this was a big snowstorm that had come through, and I was about knee deep in snow when I took that first step off that drop off, and just immediately my body twisted and I went down. So, there again, my left knee was injured. So, yeah, I have Of course, a lot of experience in healthcare as well, where I've had to move people back and forth to and from, doing a lot of lifting, pushing gigantic med carts, things like that. So I have also built up a lot of scar tissue from that. And that is how I have become Creaky Knees McGee. So, yeah, good times. So, if you're someone who's working on yourself, learning to laugh a little more, maybe questioning the world around you and the systems that we live in, or just trying to live better without becoming boring or bitter, I hope that you will stick around. Let's see where this next year leads us. And if any part of this resonated or made you laugh, let me know in the comments. And for those of you who still stuck around to the very end just to hear it, you guys are gross. No, I'm kidding. Um, but yes, I'm ready for it. So I am throwing up all of the cringe warnings, all of the trigger warnings, everything I can possibly do to let you know it's happening, because it's happening. Okay, are we ready? So don't forget to subscribe to Trying to with Leah for healing, humor, and intentional living. And of course, questioning the world as it is while trying to imagine what it could be with just a little chaos sprinkled in, because that's just who I am. So, of course, life does get better when you try. Have a great day.